Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reselling Rhythms. I'm Adam with Adam's Exploits. My show is typically live, the Reselling Rhythm Show, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Today, we have a very special guest and a friend of the show, and we will be joining that person. I'm not going to say he or she will be joining us shortly. We're going to discuss reselling. We're going to discuss storage lockers and some other things. Now, the funny thing is my counter is showing 0. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me in the chat? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Type in the chat. Okay, now they're joining chat. Good. Okay, my counter for some reason wasn't showing people in the chat. Hello, amazing Angie. We just want to say hello to a few people and we'll get started. I wanted to thank my moderators that have joined us. And Miss Beth was here originally. She's traveling, I believe, to Indiana. And she was here first. Thank you, Beth. I put your comment up there. Whom could it be? Craig the Land Shark Picker is here. We have Miss Kathleen, this and that. We have Angie. And I guess that's about it for now. I know there's some other people that are going live, and one of my pet peeves, so-called friends going live when I'm live, but it is what it is. So hopefully you guys, if you're not watching now, you're catching the replay. And then my super duper moderator with all the trivia knowledge, Miss Michelle, has joined us. Okay, guys, so we're gonna do things slightly differently today. We're gonna open up. I'm gonna give you like a little tease as far as who our guest is, and then we'll get started. Again, the show is typically live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. The comments are up. There's a lot of other interviews with other resellers on the channel. So if you guys are new to the channel, please check them out while you're here. Okay, let me do this for you guys, and we'll give you a little preview of who our guest is today, and we shall get started momentarily. And away we go.
Gonna go pick up my first storage unit in a long time. What's up, YouTube? Guess who just won a bid on a storage unit? Woo, swooped in at the last second and nabbed that puppy right up. So guess what we're gonna go do? See what's in it, and we shall see how this goes. Wish me luck. Woo woo. Oh yeah, don't forget. Make sure to subscribe and like. So I almost made a rookie move. Didn't bring a lock, so I had to make a quick little pit stop. Turn this boat around immediately. Before I actually left the house, I had called up the storage place and spoke with the kindest man named Jamie, who I'm really excited to go.
Okay, guys, let me just close that out momentarily. We still have that up.
That I live life with a pacemaker, and he also does too, and it's not awkward.
Okay, and Kimmy.
Wow. It's weird to hear my own voice like that through
Yeah, I disconnected my headphones. So I wasn't sure if you guys could hear that. Was the other thing I didn't try it. I didn't know if you could hear that, so I disconnected my earplugs. But it seems to be okay. I don't have the echo now, so I'll leave. So anyway, obviously you can see who our guest is, Miss Kimberly.
Hello, world. It's me.
Everyone here looks like they know you, but why don't you introduce yourself in case people join us later on the replays or whatever, and they tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're involved in reselling and why you're doing storage auctions again.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Kimberly or Kimmy. My YouTube channel is Boarderline Hoarderish, where I like to say that hoarding is only cool if you can sell it for a profit. I'm a mom of 2 children, a teeny bopper, and then a 8-year-old boy. And I'm a reseller, a YouTube content creator, and I live life with a pacemaker. Like Adam had mentioned, and thank you for sharing a little bit of that video. I really had tons of fun. That was the first time doing that. Part 2 of that will be coming out this week. But I had recently jumped back into kind of the storage unit world and decided to record it, start to, well, I don't want to say finish because that means there's an end to it. But it took me a minute. It's something that I am familiar with. It's been a long time. I just had never done anything really like that on my own, completely on my own. And it had been a long time because of the fact of having so many heart surgeries. There's lots of things that apparently they don't like you to do, like not trying to be Superwoman or something, lifting up couches was a no-go for at least a year. And I passed my most recent heart surgery, and my last May would have been a year. So there you go.
Well, like I said, I mean, a lot of people are interested in storage auctions. Eventually I may do like one of those smaller ones when I get some of my issues taken care of. Hopefully, I've been trying to get them taken care of. It's just that they're not cooperating. But hopefully, a couple days get a little bit better. I might try just doing like one of the little like 5x10s or something.
Yeah, it's like we were talking.
I can't do a lot of lifting, and I can't. It's. But I would like to try to just for the sake of the viewers and the channel, and get the little experience just doing it. So I might try to get a little 5x10, maybe get something cheap for like $20 or $30 or something, and just for the experience of doing it,
Right. They do have the 5x5s too.
5x5s too.
Yeah, you could do it. I mean, we talked yesterday about how when we were chatting on the phone, about storage units and dumpster diving, and how those are all things that you kind of want to do. And I was throwing out some ideas to you about, getting smaller storage units, but also like hitting up the free section of Craigslist, making a one sort of stop run on things, on free stuff, rather than having to go hunt for it, all the time. So there's a will, there's a way.
You call trash picking Curbco.
I do. My mom and I have been calling it that for it's almost 15 years. My daughter was little. It was when my family had the consignment / eBay shop or store, and they had it for quite a few years. And my daughter's preschool was right next to it. So that was really kind of convenient to have her go to preschool right in it. Literally shared the same wall. But yeah, I used to drive through older part of Inglewood here in the Denver metro area, and some of the smaller, back streets, alleyways. That's where all their trash cans were, and where they leave stuff out against the curb. So what I actually did, I bought a couple cars even that way, was I went and picked up the trash from the curbs, or my mom and I would call it Curbco because it sounded so much fancier. And I would fix it up and resell it.
Channel before, one of the reasons I ended up doing reselling is because of circumstances. But my mother taught me how to get deals on clothing and whatnot, and she used to call Marshalls Marshalls and Target Target. Make it sound fancy, make it sound French. But the Curbco sounds better than trash picking.
Yeah, it does, and Curbco is definitely sounds way better. That's why Treasure Hustlers, little shout out to them, is I've called them my Curbco queens. They've been my Curbco queens for a long time.
Jackie is insane.
She's
literally pop right into a dumpster, and I mean literally into the dumpster.
Right? I can't do that. I can hop up to it and then jump myself into it, but I can't ninja move like she flips herself.
Oh, she's insane. She just
does. It's crazy.
I'd end up like hit I couldn't, even if I was younger and I tried to, I'd probably end up hit my head on the side of the dumpster and knock myself out, and they'd find me when the trash man would dump me into the trash truck. It's like, no, there's no way I'm going to attempt to do what she does.
Right.
She enjoyed what, she was like an extreme sports kind of person and all that stuff in a previous life. So she's kind of a, I guess, a risk taker. I don't know if that's the proper terminology, but she enjoys doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
So what got you into, again, you said you haven't done this. When was the last time you actually I know
So
you
it's
said
been quite a few
heart
years.
condition, but
Pre-pacemaker, and it was with somebody else. So that was definitely a big help.
oh yeah, if you have help, sure.
Yeah, and then even when my parents had their, the family had the store, they picked up storage units. So
Oh,
technically the
your mother was
storage unit
doing
thing
that?
goes back 10
Okay.
before Dave Hester from Storage Wars did. Yup, like that's how long my
Yep, right.
family's been buying storage units. But that doesn't mean I by any means have any idea what I'm doing. I mean, that was years and years ago, and it's different, now, and I'm just getting back into it. And for me, it's moderation. As much as I'd love to pull up, with a truck and a trailer, #goals, but I don't have that. I have a Expedition and a hatchback, a Subaru or Outback Sport. So it's like a hatchback, and that's usually what I'm driving around as my little Subaru. I love it so much. I love my Subaru.
So you're not going to get involved. You're not going to go like full time into this. You're not going to get
no, I'm not going to be like buying storage units every day.
Right.
I'll still do my thing of being a dumpster diver and store. I would like to add more, maybe 2. I'd like to do maybe 2 a month in storage units, and I would like to do bigger ones. I do have plans of that, of getting some extra help, and then depending on the size of it, then I don't mind renting a truck if that's what I got to do, but it has to be worth
you could
my
rent a
time.
U-Haul. I mean, I'm sure there must be other different places that are less expensive. But I guess you got to be careful too, because you got to realize you're putting like garbage and trash in those, so you don't want to mess up the truck, and you got to return it in a light condition. So
yeah,
you know what I'm
definitely
saying?
have to go
Now, are you
through
considering like one of those open trailers and just like
it.
putting parts and tying down? So you're going to actually get like a trailer?
Oh no, it'd be closed trailer, like all
Closed
the
trailer.
way.
You're going to attach it and throw it. Okay.
Well, and that goes. I mean, I
don't even know what they would. Can't imagine what they'd go for. I know Debbie used to sell cars. Maybe she knows
they're ridiculous.
a little bit about that.
They're absolutely ridiculous. My family, when they were into racing at Bannerman Speedway, that's what they
put
the drag cars in. It's a closed trailer, so I'm all about it, man.
I know there's one about I guess about 10 miles from here, and then they do like 90% of the trailers in this area. They do custom trailers, and I guess for whatever reason, there's not many places around here that do that type of work. But I can imagine they're kind of pricey.
Oh yeah.
So I know you're going to get again. I'll link all this information later in the description. I'll link your YouTube channel. I'll link that video. And do you want to just give us a little tip about what drew you to that particular unit? Why
That's funny that you actually asked that.
You said, right?
That's actually humorous that you asked that, because I'm about to little shout out to Chris the Goose. So I had been looking at one, and gosh, I can't remember how we were all hanging out. It was after a live or something. Him, Chris the Goose, and Rise and Grind, and a couple other people were chit-chatting, and Chris was asked, I don't know, either I can't remember, he looked it up or something, the unit that I was looking at, and he basically was teasing me about it. He's like, don't get that one, so I was gonna do it anyways, really, because I wanted to be able to film it. I wanted to get that out of the way, because I hadn't done a GoPro type of action in that manner. But I backed out of it at the last second once somebody outbid me by 10, and then I jumped on another unit. So if Chris actually hadn't said anything, that I wouldn't have probably got the unit that I did.
Okay, so you got outbid on the unit that you were bidding on that you had shared with Chris, and you ended up bidding and winning something else.
I did, and it ended up working out way better. I mean, I'm still, I haven't even done much of the listing or selling of the hard goods in it. I've done just more, the clothes from it, and so the unit was $40, and so far I'm at, let's see, I think it's 5. I'd have to look at what some of the bids are right now, but it's over 500, and I still have probably
you have over 500
in profit. And what I made in the first 24 hours, I made 200 off that unit by selling things,
furniture and things,
or something local. No, there was no furniture in this one. Okay. I got lucky. Looking at the unit, it was scary.
Yeah, see, I couldn't
I would
handle
not
furniture
suggest people doing that if you're gonna
and
try to first
mattresses and all
start
that
doing
stuff.
this, unless you want to do it for video. Like if you're, you know, if you're just doing it just to do it, then by all means. But I a lot of tips that I've learned from some of the greats, like What the Hells, you know, Jeremy and George, and Storage Auction Pirate and Storage Stalker and Grimes Finds and a whole bunch of these really amazing storage unit buyer crew that I am grateful to be friends with. I've learned a lot from them and kind of, you know, just sort of a guidance of not jumping all in and being smart about it, being smart about the units by basically, like, for example, you know, buying a unit that you see something already that you can sell, you know, just visually. Don't always assume. I mean, it
Right.
would be nice. It would
I
be
know.
nice to think that there's something amazing in every unit, but it helps when you could visually see it right away.
Yeah, well, like watching the various storage auction YouTube channels, I know Jeremy has said, and other people have said, you kind of want to pick out one or two items that you figure you can get your money's worth out of those one or two items, and then everything else is kind of gravy. So, you know, I guess you're not going to take a loss. I mean, if those items are what you think you are, and I'm assuming if it's something electronic or something, or again, I wouldn't mess with furniture, but if you're messing with furniture, there could be like hidden damage, or there could be, you know, I'm saying there could be things that are, you know, could kind of mess you up. And that was the other thing. And we'll go to those one of those websites eventually, and you can give us a little bit tips of how you would look.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I'm not a guru by any means,
Right.
but I also like kind of sometimes seeing the beginner or rookie perspective.
Right, because I
things.
know absolutely nothing other than what I've seen, like I said, on Storage Wars, or watching, you know, What the Hells and Grimes Finds, and Donatello's videos, Donatello Bottolino's videos. So I know very little about it. I do know there's the various sites, and I pulled them up, and we can discuss them a little bit. Of course, I had it up. Where is it? Let's see. Auctionzip.com, storagetreasures.com, and lockerfox.com. Now, you said you typically use storagetreasures.com?
Yeah, and that's just because that's the ones that I have seen or am familiar with. Have seen units that that I liked, and I was using that before, or looking at it and using it before. I don't know, it's been quite a few years, so I don't know how many, but 3 or 4, maybe 5. Time flies, y'all. Time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, but not rebuying though, not until more recently, and just on my dime, not having somebody else go in.
Time out 1 second.
Oh,
hello, Crystal. Crystal has joined us. Okay, you can. I just wanted to say hello.
I love Crystal. I'm seeing the chat over here. It keeps. I think there's something going on with StreamYard because it keeps kicking me from the live comments.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird.
I had an issue. I had the echo, and I had the issue with the comments, and so hopefully the replay will work out well.
I'm sure.
So everyone, thanks for bearing with us. If there's any glitches, it seems like StreamYard is having some difficulty.
Yeah, it's really weird.
So there he is. That's my mystery guest, Mr. Pat. Amazing Timmy.
Yeah, Pat, what's up?
An amazing person.
I probably am a mystery to well, I've been
not to Pat.
I've been kind of no, even to Pat. I've been kind of MIA until just a more recent day of YouTube, and it's unfortunately going to. And I don't want to say unfortunate because it's not unfortunate that I'm trying to get my stuff together, but I got very behind, and so I'm trying to play catch up, y'all. So if you're not seeing me around, it has nothing to do with anyone in particular, except for the fact that I procrastinated on adulting and almost screwed myself. So I'm playing catch up. So my apologies if you don't see me in the chats. I promise I'll come back in like next week more commonly.
Well, why don't we do? Well, like I said, I told you I wanted to jump in that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
We had discussed that prior. Why don't we jump in again? It doesn't have to be like, storage auction 101 buying. Why don't we just for again, and I keep my channel G-rated guys. So I'm going to say kicks,
Oh.
giggles, just for kicks and giggles. Why don't we jump into one of the auction zip or one of the channel, one of the
Sure.
and just tell us a little bit, navigate a little bit about it, and tell us. I mean, obviously, don't show us something you would be bidding on. You told me you're not bidding on anything currently. So
no, because I'm trying to make room in my garage. I have this garage that fits 3 cars in it, 3 compact cars, smaller cars, and it's going to waste right now. So that's part of the reason why life is so busy, is because I'm trying to adjust that and get all of my inventory in one nice wall in there, so that I could have some room on sorting. Really, actually, storage.
Well, Valerie was telling me Hickory Springs when she was on last week, how she was building the shelving. She was building custom shelving that she bought at Lowe's or Home Depot, and she and her daughter were actually cutting it to size and putting, I guess, in her garage, and then she was going to put it inside one of her storage bedrooms or whatever. So I give her credit for that.
I love that.
And it was so much less expensive to build your own than to buy pre-assembled, or not pre-assembled, but where you assemble it or whatever. And so good for her. So why don't you pop into one of those? And then
let me
just so we can practice our screen sharing with StreamYards.
Sure. Okay,
guys, there were some little lots of ground ones earlier. I was echoing, and then I lost my camera, and then it's always something. So there we go. So we should be good. I see you. So we're on a little bit of a delay. So the chat viewer should be seeing you shortly.
Can you all see my screen now?
Yeah. I mean, let me get Aaron's
you,
banner off here. That might help show it a little bit better.
I just pulled up Denver's area.
Okay. Why can't I got to scroll all the way back up to where his banner was?
Oh, yeah, to undo his banner, whatever he said. Yeah.
That was a while ago. Okay.
It happens. I've done that.
You keep on keeping on, and I'll find his banner, and I'll
Okay, I wasn't sure. This is one of the sites that I use. You did name a few others that are good ones. It will depend on your area. Try to, because your map might not look the same as mine, and actually this is really kind of sad for right now, but and I also actually noticed, here's a little tip, that what you see right here isn't always accurate on what is all down here, because it looks like there's nothing, but there's lots, within each little hammer that you see. So.
Oh, okay. So it's like an auction hammer is like the little symbol.
So you can go in a particular, depending on where you live at, and.
Okay. And you can set up, I guess, parameters within 30 miles.
And then,
whatever.
Yeah, right. So this is the one that is at that area. Ooh, see, okay. So for me, this is already a huge red flag, because I see
dirty mattress,
and I know that would not steer everybody away, but for me, being a one-woman show, that is a absolute no. I'm sure that there's some good stuff in here, because I see that they maybe wrapped something.
Now, can you click on that picture?
Let's click on it. We can look at it.
Let's see what. Just the.
I think it's fun to hunt and look.
Yeah, I mean, people are into the treasure hunts,
Right. So if you just hover even over the picture, you obviously can see that it's zooming in, and the quality is not really that great.
Right.
I notice in a lot of these pictures, but sometimes it's beneficial when they take cruddy pictures, because then people don't want to bid on it.
Exactly. Now the thing is, again, and I'm 99% sure of this, but correct me if I'm wrong. With the online auctions, there is no way to visit that unit prior to purchasing. Correct.
Okay,
so strictly everything is online, and you buy it.
It's just based off the pictures.
I won't say stay unseen, but physically not seeing the unit, just online. And then you're committed to buying that unit. I guess you have a certain amount of time. What's typical of the time that you have to pay?
I can't remember what the exact amount is. I know that there's rules that are usually down at the bottom.
And then there's also, I'm assuming, sales tax, and there's
it sends you. It'll email you. And then, so the thing is, and I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but through this site so far, when you go to the storage unit, you have to go with your $100 deposit in cash, right? You see this cleaning deposit right here,
Right.
$100
In
deposit
addition to what you bid.
on top
Or
of what you bid,
want, I should say, 'cause this is
plus
you
the
want.
sales tax of the unit. So that's what you have to come with, all that cash. And then when you clean out, within the 72-hour mark, they'll give you the $100 back.
Typically, what is the? I guess it varies. Well, what is the commission rate? Is it 10%?
Yeah, it's like I think that it just depends. On
the facility.
Yeah, it's 10. It's 10.
So
I know there's some of these sites that you can get a
20% because you got sales tax, and most areas are 7 to 10% sales tax. You have the 10% buyer's premium, and then you have your $100 cleaning fee, and then you have your obviously the purchase price. And my understanding is 99% of these auctions are cash only, correct?
Correct.
So you can't like put it on a credit card, and you can't,
Nope, not that I know.
Cool. I mean, a new fight wouldn't know that, and watching your video, and I learned that too. You have to, you would bring a lock, obviously, because when you purchase it, if you have 72 hours typically to clean it out. So they're gonna take off their little lock, the facility lock, and you're gonna put your lock on it. Same thing if you're going to live auctions, you're going to want to have a bunch of locks. So if you want a bunch of units, they when they cut up the lock, you got to put your lock on it because you have to come back later and go through it, clean it out, and get the whatever treasures you find in there.
Right. Do you want me to look at another one? Or
Sure.
That one doesn't. I mean, the furniture looks nice.
Why you wouldn't be interested? Like to me, again, obviously I wouldn't mess with furniture, but to me, dirty mattresses are a big no-no.
Well,
relatively close to a large city. So how far are dumps for you as far as like getting rid of the debris and the trash?
Right. So I would junk the mattresses if it was me. Right. If I had the help, if I had the muscle, this is what I would do. Well, depending on this furniture that's right here, you could just sell it right out of the unit, depending on where you live, and list it on Facebook Marketplace. Or you could even take it to a consignment shop, which is what I used to do, and put it on consignment. You have to keep in mind consignment shops, they do take a big chunk of the change or of it.
I think
it's like 60-40 right? Or 70-30 sometimes.
It's 70%? Wow.
It depends on where you're at. Well, you would get 70 and they would.
I was thinking 30%. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it just depends on where you're at and what their rules are. But and then you have to remember that they pay out at the end of their month. So you're not going to get that money right away. It'll be a minute for the consignment place to pay you out.
Now I live in a town that has a lot of those little type of antique type of stores. I should probably go up on the avenue one day and just hit like 3 or 4 of them, and just for my knowledge to see if they would accept things, if I can come in and try to sell them things, or that I may have found, whether it be thrifting or whatever, or at yard sales, garage sales, and or do they do consignment sales? That's a good tip.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think to flip furniture, or you could take it with you and again list it local.
Like I know nothing about antiques, and I guess I could try to research it, obviously, before I tried to sell it. But there's probably
furniture does well though. Furniture is a really good flip if you have the muscle behind it and need money fast. Furniture is actually a pretty good
turns relatively quickly.
Well, dressers is one in particular. It seems that people always need dressers. Now, furniture like kitchen table, it's always better to have 4 chairs and the table. It's harder to sell 3 chairs, or 2 chairs, unless they're like designer side chairs.
Yeah.
But furniture will flip. Buffets and all that, those are one of the hardest things, I think, to flip out of all furniture.
I have a buffet behind
me.
Most
people don't have a dining room.
Yeah, my mother.
Dining room, a traditional.
I know my mother. She was a great person, but she put this big, huge china closet and this big buffet, and we had this little row house. It's like, what were you thinking? It's like,
right. I'm going to click on another one of these.
If somebody had to purchase this china closet, I got to think it's thousands of dollars, because this is like probably 20 years old, and it wasn't like the the classic like everything was perfect, but it's like probably 90% wood, not compressed wood.
Right.
And it's beautiful. And behind me, it's what I get.
What is that?
$1 if I'm lucky.
Yeah, this looks like junk. It looks like somebody went through it already.
Right. They probably, and that's the thing too. I guess that's kind of like a pro tip too, right? That
Right.
people know they're going to lose it, so they go and they take all the good stuff out. They're trashing, most of their trash and their junk.
My poor Broncos are doing horrible this year. I don't like this unit.
My understanding is, and I guess this is kind of like the underbelly of it all. A lot of times there are people that get arrested and are in jail, and that's where you find some of the better stuff, because these people were paying on their auction on their unit, and they're in jail, and they're not paying when they're in jail. I mean, not obviously, but typically
this one looks packed. I wish that I had more room and stuff, because
they have moving boxes. Is that a good sign?
Well, yeah, look, I mean, it's stacked nice back there, so it doesn't look like somebody rummaged through it, but it is a lot. I mean, what was this 10 by 10? That is huge.
Well, see,
for me it's huge. I wonder what's in these, all stacked nicely.
Now, Kathy had brought up about something that the renter can pay off at the last minute too. So make sure you pay immediately.
Yes, go immediately after you win that bid.
You can't pay on right, because you got to pay cash.
You can't pay online. No, you can't pay.
Right, you have to go there to pay. Right.
Yeah, you got to go.
Good tip.
I have that.
I'm thinking, I pay online. It's like, no, you can't pay online because you got to pay cash.
I wish that it was like that.
So that's the other thing. If you're bidding on units that are like 20 or 30 miles away from you, you have to drive out there and pay for it. That's just something to consider too. Right. Not that it would discourage me, but that's the factor too. So I
wonder if there's a couch in
anything of interest in there that maybe
I bet there's lots of cool stuff in it, but I worry that there's. I mean, look how big that I could only fit. How many boxes could I fit in my?
Well, that's the thing.
This is a unit like Chris the Goose. He picks up big units, or What the Hells, or Thrift Trader. They pick up stuff that's
right.
Not that I don't want to. I just can't.
Kathy's saying something about drugs too. She says, if you find.
Oh my gosh! Yes, that's another thing. Wear gloves.
Right.
Come prepared.
And
bring tools.
There's ones like the doctors and the nurses wear. You got to wear.
Well, even that. So when I was, I just got out of my screen here. When I was cleaning out my unit and came across needles, those rubber gloves are going to do nothing against a knife or needles.
Right.
So you got to be.
Or like you like to call it a knife.
Well, that's actually from George, Gorgeous George, Jeremy and George, her and her knives. She's so cute.
Now, Kathy was saying something about if the police, also if you find any drugs, just dispose of, because if you report it, then the police will come, seize it, and you'll lose your money with no refund. They will seize the whole unit.
Yes, they'll take the entire thing. Yeah.
I had no idea that was the case. Thank you, Kathy. I would just assume they would take the drugs and that would be the end of it.
Right. So, here's the pool noodle.
Wow. That's a great tip. I had no idea.
I don't see really.
Well, then, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I can't see who's in here because all I can see is my full screen.
Right. Well,
I can't see the chat. Hello, everybody.
Just joined us.
Lynn
B.
Anyone? Any of interest you all want to look at? I'd be going for the small ones. This is an odd shape.
Like a small one, like a 5 by 10 or something.
5 by 10, all right. See, I mean, there's even some that like have practically nothing. You never know. These are 5.
We're going to doing another 5 or 10 minutes of this, and then we're gonna probably discuss a little bit about reselling and then answer some questions, because Miss Kimberly is on a little bit of a timeline, so we want to make sure we get her.
Here's a big one. 20 by 30.
20 by 30.
Wow. I bet there's some good stuff
on that just for the heck of it and see how.
We gotta look at it. I always look
in there. 20 by 30.
Right? That is huge. Here, I forget that I can click on that like that.
Oh my word! Look at all that stuff.
Wow. I spy. I don't see Waldo in this.
You have a shot here. Yeah,
oh, this is scary. I don't like when I see cat stuff, even though I have a cat.
Right.
But I have a clean cat.
So there could be things that have cat urine and things on them.
Yeah, that's sometimes scary, but at least it looks fairly clean. The cat tree.
Now is that is like live now, right? Does it show you?
This looks like it was a house unit, like somebody's house. Yeah, so this one is.
What's the current bid?
It's right. Current high bid $40. So it's got a lot of days on it left though. So
Okay, that's why.
5 days. Yeah, I'm sure it will go up. That's so much stuff though.
Well,
I would have so much fun going through this.
That cabinet in the front, that's got to be worth $25-$30, right?
Right. Yeah, probably. I mean,
or $20 anyway.
Let's see. Ooh, I mean, it's got watermark. Ooh, I like the handles. It's got watermarks. Okay, it looks a little messed up though. The veneer on the front.
Oh yeah, the top messed up too. Okay, well that's good.
You could replace that though, but it depends on how much work you want to do.
Yeah.
Oof! Look at underneath that. It's so scary.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I don't think I would buy that one. Even $40. Not that I could clean it out.
Well, the bigger units sometimes go for low numbers because it's just so much. Nobody wants to deal with it.
What's Kathy saying? Kathy, we should have you on as a guest too.
Right? She's amazing.
Always look at the floor to see.
Yeah.
Right. It looks and tells you how many times it came up.
So there you go. Perfect example of exactly what she's talking about.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
So, that's a great, I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's a great, I think I learned that from Donatella originally.
They actually, when they cut up the lock, they just leave it in the unit like that.
Yeah, they cut it off and leave it like that. So when you see more than one, it's obviously they've come and paid at some point, but then lost the unit again. So
that's something I would have no idea about.
Well, they apparently thought that it was worth trying to save once.
You've been doing it for years, Kathy? Okay. Wow. Okay. Was that a golf bag?
Yeah, a golf bag.
A lot of these golf bags, I see them like in yard sales, and I mean, I was a hacker. I was terrible, but I knew a little bit about golf. And you see a lot of these yard sales and garage sales, and they're just garbage clubs, and it's like,
right.
I think people sell those to like pro shops or sell them to friends or stuff when they have good equipment. If they have like a nice tailor-made set or something, you find all these mismatched clubs, and it's like stuff that's like 75 years old.
Right. You'd be surprised. There's some really expensive golf clubs out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, golf clubs, it always reminds me of like the way you have to think about coins. If you're ever going to get into reselling or really collecting coins or even sports stuff, there's actually quite a few things. Quality and how well it's made matters. And also, I know with golf clubs, like one thing is if it's straight, like you have to make sure it's straight. You also have to be measuring the correct way if you want to list them, measuring, all parts of it. And then also just identifying each one because it gets kind of confusing and what the end of it's made of. So definitely do your research. There's a lot of really great videos though out there about golf clubs and packing golf clubs, and then even a bolo list of golf clubs. So it's worth looking at if you come across it a lot because they weigh nothing to ship.
Right.
You would think that the shipping is like crazy, but really
come up with some kind of Frankenbox or I guess you could.
Yeah, you just you do a triangle is what I do when I ship golf clubs. Is I do a triangle box.
Well, why don't we?
Yeah, I was just saying, can we? I feel like I'm talking to nobody because I can't see.
No. That's fine. It's just I'm concerned about your time frame, and you have about 20 minutes. So why don't we? If there's any questions, again, Kathy, thanks for all the tips. I mean, it's been very valuable. Thank you so much. I mean, I know.
She's awesome.
So that was really great that you've been giving some tips. So if there are any questions, maybe Kimmy can handle a few questions, and we'll roll.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not when it comes to that. Like I said, I'm not a.
Yeah, well, like I said, we want to keep this to about an hour, and then we'll discuss a little bit about reselling. We're going to discuss getting a jump on the end of the year and the new year because we're in Q4.
It is upon us.
It is upon us.
Yeah.
October 2nd today.
I
And it's
know,
93
right?
degrees and humid here. It's ridiculous.
October, I don't know if Beth is still in here, Reseller Rowboat, but little
She's
shout out
on
to
the
Beth
phone, yeah.
because October is my first month that I have gone full blown bullet journal all the way
Oh,
through. So little shout out to her. Like
speaking,
I just did a Halloween theme, but
shout
I
out
know
to
she'd be
Beth.
there.
We saw a rowboat.
So I'm pretty excited about it. I like being a little creative, and also I'm a lister. I do love to have a kind of a to-do list, but my problem is sometimes I make that list far too big, and then I get so overwhelmed by how huge it is that I don't have a great way to break it down. So it's cool to do the bullet journal, and it kind of gives you a moment to sort of, it's almost like being artistic in a way and giving me my moment, my 15 minutes to get myself together and get my thoughts together and figure out what I'm gonna, do. And it's almost exciting to like start filling it in when you accomplish something. And
There's our friend from Northern Ireland, Mr. David.
Hello,
mate. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Okay, so I guess there weren't any questions on the reselling. Why don't we roll on the reselling of the storage auctions? Why don't we roll into the tips and the ideas that you had about trying to get a jump on the new year and making sure everything is geared up and organized for Q4?
So before I get into that, I do
you
see
mind
that
if
Debbie. I'll explain that. That's fine.
You want to go full screen, or you prefer it like this?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
I do see that Debbie Does Sales asked when is a good time frame to start bidding on a unit. I don't really have the best advice for that. I do know that there's plenty of people who will wait till the last second to bid. Just know that if you bid within the last few minutes, it's just going to tack on more time to the bidding.
Yeah, what do they call that? Like an auction where it kind of like.
I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll think of it as soon as I get off the air.
Yeah. So, all right. As for planning ahead, well, it was like we were, Adam and I were talking yesterday about. He knows I I am a busy person, and I've been kind of MIA a little bit off of YouTube.
It's a soft close. Thank you, Michelle. Told you she knows all these.
All right, she's so smart.
She is.
Michelle, you're so smart. She's so smart. So
thank you.
We were discussing yesterday about I'm basically trying to get ahead rather than being behind. And with it being fourth quarter being busy, even if you don't sell, a whole bunch, this time of year is busy just in general. And for me, I don't really like to, or didn't want to start my new year off already stressed out, like right out the gate. So instead of waiting to get my, everybody, the New Year comes around. It's like a fresh new start. You get your New Year's resolutions. You're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to organize my inventory. I'm going to start a, new business. I'm going to open up Poshmark, whatever it is. And January 1st comes around. You're all gung-ho, set on doing whatever it is, and you do it for a couple weeks. It gets too hard. You're overwhelmed. You basically bit off too much, don't know how you're going to do or accomplish all these things. So what do? You quit. And then you feel sorry for yourself, and you usually don't pick up, where you kind of stopped, because it just becomes overwhelming. Well, for me, a way I prevent that from happening is by preparing a little bit ahead of time. And instead of waiting till the last second when I'm frazzled, I'm just like so exhausted and happy that the holidays are over because of all the busyness. The last thing I want to do is now, jump in this purging that I have to do to start my business off well for the new year. So I'm doing it now. I am doing the great purge with my business and even my household right now. I'm not waiting till the 1st. I'm not waiting till spring. I'm doing it now. And that way, when those times come, it's way less and again, it has a lot to do with bullet journaling and looking up ideas of pages. It kind of sparked my interest when I came across one that's a page of things you could do in 15 minutes. And so whenever you're about to, grab your phone instead to go sit on, Facebook or whatever it is, you go to your little list of things that you could do for 15 minutes. And so that's basically what I've been doing, is going and getting those, that to-do list, the things I keep putting off, done so that I can be ahead. And like, I'm going through my inventory now, taking one container at a time, because I figure if I do one container each week before Christmas, I'd be pretty far ahead. So that's
Now,
kind of what I've been doing a lot.
Your death piles, or you're doing an inventory, or what?
I will. So if it's not going to make me a certain amount and it's sitting in my death pile, I'm getting rid of it. Right, because I'm not going to look at it anymore. I'm just not. And I know that people are gasping, oh my gosh, you're putting money out the door. But those are things that I maybe got a year ago that maybe the trend isn't as much, or maybe it was leftovers from bags that I bought, and I'm far beyond the profit on the bag. So it's just really things I don't need to continue to, it stresses me out. Why am I keeping things that are stressing me out, basically? Like, just get rid of it.
Well, we discussed that on the phone yesterday, talking about average selling price. And
yeah, again, a box
that's
away.
Something we all have to strive for, to increase our average selling price and ideally our gross profit. I mean, you don't want to have to spend, $25 and sell something for $35. But if you can get something where your average selling price, where you're making $25 or $30 minimum gross profit on an item, especially like with clothing, because it takes so much labor with clothing. Why mess with something where you're going to make $3-5? I am right now. It's annoying.
Well, when you're beginning, that's a great
unit.
Right. When you're first starting, eBay or any of the selling platforms, as long as you're making somewhat of a profit, I don't think it matters in the margin, because it's better to just learn than to not. But if you've been doing this for, a year or two and you're still broke, like, you might want to look at your profit margins and figure out what you need to do to address that and make it better. It also depends on your goals. You and I have discussed many times, I probably won't ever be that person with, a few online stores with thousands and thousands and thousands of items. It's just not my thing. I love to resell. It's been in my blood for as long as I can remember, to try to flip things, but I don't want to work 24/7. So I'm trying to get ahead of the game, because my plan come here, I mean, even before January, is instead of working 24/7, like I hear so many, and I'm pretty much doing myself right now, I'm working all the time. I'm going to do reselling Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm going to have, do my listings those days and schedule them out, because I'm going to take the weekend off. I'm not doing it anymore.
That makes a lot of sense. I know Craig is in the chat. I think he's doing something or driving or something. Lance Short Picker, but we discussed that. He says he likes to do drafts, but you and I discussed that for us, for 10 cents an item, just easier to do. And again, guys, I don't pertain to be an expert. I've been doing this for about 3 years now, and I follow a lot of YouTubers, and I'm friendly with some of the bigger YouTubers and some of the smaller YouTubers. And I try to glean information from them, and that's what this channel is all about, bringing people to have experience on and sharing their experiences and trying to teach you guys and myself also. But bulk doing everything. Have a system. Take all your pictures, in bulk, and do. Maybe you're doing clothing, so maybe you're going to do like all jeans. You do jean. And then maybe doing shirts, do all the shirts. Don't do a pair of jeans and then a shirt and then a hard good. Try to get some kind of system in place. Do that. Do all your pictures. And I don't like to go crazy with the pictures. I'd like to do like maybe 6 to 10 units, because then I get confused. I mean, some people can take like 20, 30 items, pictures.
I do it in fives.
I
do it in fives. And then I take a break from it.
I try to be around 5 to 7-ish. Yeah. And then I'll go and I'll do my listings, my drafts, and then I'll add the pictures. But yeah, get some kind of system together. And like you said, So you're trying to do about what are you saying, about 25 per day for like 3 days a week?
So I'm working on this whole seven. Like 7 is my lucky number currently, but I'm doing 7 buy it now, 7 auction, 7 scheduled, and
Right.
scheduled ahead. And I'm starting with Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm doing less auctions on Thursday than I am Friday, and as the days build, they're getting more. Now, I started my first eBay store doing just pretty much auctions and doing that rotation
Right.
of it being like that, and it worked really well for me. I don't know how I got so far off of track with that, but I think the consistency and having it scheduled out or the auctions to run out like that kept my store active, which is why, I was selling quantity wise more. And I'm trying to get rid of my not get rid of, but I'm condensing because again, I'm not trying to have 10,000 items. I'm trying to have 500 really good items instead. And I could sell other things other ways, or just even donate it, because I said, if it's not going to bring me a certain amount and it's stressing me out to look at it, then I don't know why I still have it in my house.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. And Kimmy's my friend, so I normally wouldn't do this.
But, yeah.
Kathy, please get in touch with me. I mean, like Kimmy does storage auctions, but obviously you have a lot of experience in storage auctions, and I would love to have you on the channel. So please reach out to me via my Adam's Exploits Facebook page, or you can leave me a message in the comments or something, and somehow I'll get a hold of you. So Kimmy, I would normally want to do that, but I know we're friends, and you don't.
Oh no, and I know Kathy.
Okay.
She that's she's part of the morning crew.
Okay.
Chick picker.
Oh, she probably.
Valerie. Yeah. So Kathy, I know Kathy when I was. My YouTube channel was Life of Kimberly, and I didn't have a single video out. Same with Carol. Carol's another one that I know that I knew as before. But she is very smart. Very smart. Kathy is, for sure.
Yes, she is. Okay, so we have like 5 minutes left. Is there anything you wanted to just share with us as far as tips or tricks or anything that you
I think really honestly the best advice is to do what's really best for you, because what I can source here in Denver is going to be different than what somebody else can source. What time I have free now is going to be different than what time you have free now. How many days I can go without my body like caving, on me is going to be different than the rest of you. And if you were doing something now that is working for you, don't reinvent the wheel. Keep, doing what you're doing. And obviously things change, platforms change. Does it stink? Yes. But just like anything, you got to go with the flow. You got to suck it up and deal with it anyways and get it figured out. So really just do what's best for you, and try out. If something's not working, then you need to try something different. And that's what's beautiful about YouTube and reselling.
There's a reason that these sayings, these rhymes or sayings, whatever, have lasted for hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. I say it all the time. The only thing that is permanent is change. Mm-hmm. And you have to adapt. Mm-hmm. Another thing, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting different results. You do the same thing over and over and over again, you're going to get the same results. We talk about that, huh? About, we've chatted before about banging your head on a brick wall and expecting something else to happen, but all that happens is you hurt. Right. Well, duh, you're going to hurt. You're banging your head on a brick wall. You're doing the same thing. I probably shouldn't discuss this, but I do bring this up on my channel with my health issues. And I've been feeling a little bit down. I've been eating bad foods for me. And guess what? I paid the price. And it's like, nah, dummy, why are you eating this crap? It's not good for you. That's when you need to apply the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule, Adam. Exactly. And you need to change your thinking. And guess what? So I have written down right here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to do it anyways. And even if I still don't feel like it, guess what? In big giant letters, it says do it anyways. I had to get back to that. I was doing that in the morning when you were on that kick, that 5, 4. Well, you're always on that kick, but yeah. I was saying to myself, what would Kimmy do? Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. That's a great thing that you bring that up, because I know Mel Robbins is like, that's where. Well, when you were doing your Monday motivational every Monday or whatever, and it was kind of like in my mind.
Yeah,
Like,
that's awesome.
you said to you, Adam, get your A's up. So do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 up.
Yeah, it's a great, I like to tell people that if you can't find motivation in yourself, you use somebody else, meaning use your kids as your motivation.
Like,
Think of somebody who
accountability
inspires
partners
you.
Yeah,
What would, like Adam just said, what would Kim do? Or for me, it's what would Mel Robbins do? Because that's the one who taught me about that. What would she do in that situation? Or those who love Gary Vee. What would Gary Vee do?
Well, Gary Vee without all the curse words.
So what would Gary do? Gary Vee do?
PG. Gary Vee would say, "Get over it, bleep 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 bleep."
He would, but he's right.
Get over it, move on.
He's right though. He's right though.
Right. Absolutely right.
Do it anyway. That's the saying for the week. Do it anyway.
Do it. Just do it. Like the Nike commercial. Right. Okay, guys. Again, Kimmy has the time constraints. Were there any questions? And again, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you guys for showing up and supporting the channel. I discussed this with Kimmy and some others. I want to grow this channel. I want to improve my equipment. Up to now, I've spent all my own personal funds growing this channel. I upgraded my cameras. I upgraded my microphones, my tripods, my equipment. I am going to be probably this week. I'm going to start adding some affiliate links. If you're not affiliated with affiliate links, I'm going to put in links of products that I use for reselling or that I use for YouTube or that people that I'm very familiar with and I trust use for YouTube or for reselling, like Casey the Rockstar Flipper. And if you guys would purchase something from that, it doesn't cost you anything additional. I get a little tiny commission. And if you purchase anything while you're on the Amazon site for whatever the time per frame is, I make a little commission. So again, I'm trying to get a GoPro 7. I'm trying to make my channel better. I'm going to try to go to garage sales and yard sales and do some filming out there. And I was just explaining to Kimmy, it's difficult with my iPhone. I got a special microphone and everything, but the phone overheats. So I want to try to make upgrades and make this channel as best as I can make it. I mean, I think we're providing good content. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up. So any other last minute question, guys, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll give about 30 seconds. If there's about a 30-second lag. So again, guys, I'm going to put Kimmy's YouTube channel down there in the description. I'll put a link to the video that she's doing, and she says she's working on editing the second video.
Yes, I mean, that's how many things were in the unit, was that I had to break the video down. I mean, there's even my son has already recorded the opening up the jewelry bag that was full of jewelry.
Well, that's neat too. That that your son loves to edit, and that's a big.
Oh my god! Yeah, he's so cute.
Editing is.
I know, right? Can you imagine how
Brandon is? He loves doing that. That's great.
I know, right?
I mean, that's something he's interested in. Maybe we'll get involved in that as a career or something. I'm not saying video editing, but maybe he's a technical into that kind of stuff.
He is. He knows how to work my phone better than I do.
Okay.
So.
Hey, Glenn.
What up, Glenn? And thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate all of you. I see you all: Kathy, Swamp, David, Don, Lynn, Ricardo, Myra, Carol.
I want to say Ricardo came to the chat. I missed him earlier.
He did.
Okay, good to see you, Ricardo, or not see you, but
Maggie Doodle. Land Shark Picker, Kriegers. Yeah, so I see you all.
So I appreciate you guys. And again, if you're watching the replay, there's a lot of other videos of various resellers, some very experienced resellers, including Casey the Rockstar Flipper. I've been interviewed by Steve Rake and Profit. Again, guys, I tell you, I'm not like an advanced seller. I'm kind of like an advanced beginner to intermediate seller. But I'm relatively intelligent. I watch a lot of YouTube and I moderate a lot of channels. I moderate on Casey the Rockstar Flipper's channel every Thursday evening. Please subscribe to Kimmy's channel. Kimmy moderates on a lot of reselling channels and also a lot of storage auction channels.
I do. And that, did you want me to mention?
I do want to mention that
tonight,
correct?
Yeah. So those amazing people that I had mentioned before that are into storage unit buying, which is What the Hells, Storage Auction Pirate, Grimes Finds, Storage Hunting Vegas. There's Storage Stalker. I can't remember who else is on there, but they do an AA, an Auctions Anonymous meeting. And so if you're ever interested in learning a lot, about storage units. It's really a great show, and they're really awesome people. Oh, also Locker Nuts. I forgot about them. How could I forget about them? So that show is every single Wednesday, and tonight it rotates on to Justin's channel, Grimes Finds. So if you guys have not,
Finds, guys.
Little Mama Stalker Liz. Yes, she's amazing.
GRIME''s Finds, FINDS. That will be a storage auction.
Yeah, they do it. It's all people who are into buying storage units, and it's actually really
right. So
a lot of good information, and just for entertainment,
from the experts and entertaining. That's a great show to watch on Wednesdays, and of course we recommend Jeremy and George, What the Hales, and Grimes Find channels, and you'll see the various storage auction buyers on that channel and on that show, and it rotates from channel to channel. So, all right, Miss Kimberly.
All right. Thanks for having me, Ann.
For doing this. I appreciate it.
No problem. Again, I got you.
Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And we shall see you next time. Thanks a lot.
So long.